You have Neepkins, who was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, that just plays with so much confidence and grit, a very efficient scorer in how she gets to her spots. Johnson is right along with her, very crafty scorer, lets the game come to her and can score the ball from various spots on the floor. And on the other side of that, for the Razorbacks, you have Amber Ramirez. They call her Grandma, the super senior. That's been such a great leader for her team, uses her voice a lot, and backs it up with her play on the court. A scorer that can get in the lane and create, but also has a nice jumper both inside and outside the arc. She's not afraid of the moment, and I'm excited for this one, Angel, watching practices. I'm hyped. I'm ready for tip-off.
I can feel it, and here is the tempo. Let the dance begin. And the Utes start off with the ball. Here. And now let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Here's your Utah starting five by Capital One. And first on the board, the Utes. Taking a look at the Arkansas starting five as well. The thing about this is that we already talked about Ramirez. She's that super senior for Arkansas, but a lot of youth on both sides of the floor, and so it's going to be interesting to see how both teams really handle this moment. You mentioned how you were really excited about what they're going to do. They took care of business in regular season play, but now when the lights are shining the brightest, we'll see how they get things done. And so far, Utah with 4 on the board early. 2, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. And, you know, whenever you start something new, it happens in the conference tournament, and it happens with the NCAA tournament. You have those butterflies and those jitters, and you try to get them out in the beginning. And she knocks down the transition 3.
And she can do that. We already mentioned how this was going to be a shootout. Both teams are in the top 20 as far as what they can get done for three-pointers made. McQueen shooting 42% from distance. There's a call on the floor, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
And Arkansas was worried about that, of getting in transition and knocking down threes, just what she was able to do there. That's a big part of their offense, making sure they can score in transition. And another one goes up, and they're hot. They're starting. That's Neepkins right there with the long-range three-point shot, and that's exactly what we expected, Angel.
The Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Jenna Neepkins, we already talked about her impact for this team as a freshman and what she's been able to do, and she's been so consistent for this squad. That shot outside by Goforth misses. Utah, 8-0 start. Foul underneath. And right now, for Coach Roberts, I would expect her to be very excited about how her team has started this one off. Lynn Roberts in her 7th year. She told us there is no room for complacency. And just understanding what she's done for this program. She was the runner-up in the Pac-12 championship. They lost to the defending champions for the NCAA, Stanford. But being there for the first time in program history and seeing how they're getting things done now is a testament to what she's been able to do with this program.
Yeah, we talked about this, and the Pac-12 is just so strong, and so her players have been playing against some of the best that's in this tournament now, and so they're kind of prepared for this moment. It's a bigger stage. They're playing somebody different, but they've played against some of the greatest athletes in the NCAA tournament thus far.
A look on the underneath by Wolfenbarger, and that one doesn't go. Tripped up on the inside, and still Arkansas looking to get on the board. Slow start, 10-0 run for Utah. Outside shot by Goforth, that one short. Rebound goes to the Utes.
Another 3 goes up, and I know Coach Neighbors is not too happy about these threes. and them getting able to get those shots off as she's driving into the lane. Nice floater. Gets Arkansas on the board.
Finally, Michaela Daniels for the first two for Arkansas. Sometimes you just need to see one go in, get the jitters out of your system, but they have to play defense because that's another quick response by Utah.
Maybe some of the early jitters. Angel missing some shots that they normally make, or that's a little bit closer, as Daniels goes again into the basket, and that would be something to keep an eye on, how she's able to get into the paint multiple possessions.
Kayla McDaniels, one of 3 players that average double figures on this roster, really putting the team on her back to start this ball game off. Driving baseline, Neepkins looking for a little bit of help as the shot clock is now at 8.
And she gets in the passing lanes again. McDaniels being one of their best perimeter defenders.
We have Mike Neighbors leading the charge for Arkansas. He's back with his alma mater. He was previously with Washington, but he has just been so impressive in postseason play. 8 season postseason appearances. He had 1 Final Four appearance as well, and that might have been with someone you know, Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, she talks about them all the time. They came up to me talking about Kelsey Plum and all she's been able to do and her improvement these years that she's been a pro, and I love being her teammate, and that's a testament to Coach Neighbors and what he's been able to do with his players as well.
So Ramirez steps to the free throw line. Lingerman on the field, on the court. And then we also wanted to give a shout out to Coach Mike Neighbors, who has some nice Jordans on. He said, I have that drip that everybody was talking about. He got it correct with us, right?
He got some drip working over there, got some J's working. That's a nice little swag he has going over there on the sideline. Got to keep the drip happy.
It's fun catching up with Coach Neighbors just about his schemes. He does things a little different, how he tracks the game. His lingo even for the game coming into this one is definitely something we'll continue to highlight throughout this broadcast. Maxwell, guarded by Daniels, giving her a hard time at the top of the key. You have Young, dishes it off. Gilton, short on the shot clock. And before they can get a shot off, there's actually an offensive foul that's going to be called. This one should be going against Drew Gilton.
That was great defense. Great team defense by Arkansas. Really get into the passing lane. Just help and recover, helping each other, staying engaged. She's going over that screen, knowing she wants to step behind and shoot that 3-point shot. So that was great team defense by Arkansas.
We saw a lot of what they were working on in shoot-around as well as practice on chasing the screens, chasing the shooters as well, and how that looks for Utah, knowing that's their #1 look on the offensive end. Shot no good, and that rebound goes to Maxwell. Fast pace is what we're getting so far. Maxwell trails off the back iron. 50-50 ball. We'll see if it goes to Utah. That's tossed up in the air. An extra possession for Utah in the 3 for Maxwell. She wanted the foul. She'll just have to settle for the 3.
Utah is hustling all over the court, getting deflections on balls, making it difficult for Arkansas as Ramirez does the pull-up 3. You would like to see her maybe go into a paint a little bit, see some balls go through the net as Maxwell gets another 3 off, and that's no holding their breath on the Arkansas bench for that one.
So a foul on the play, but an interesting start that we've seen from Utah, who has been absolutely phenomenal to start this game. It's been raining threes here in Austin. Maxwell a big part of it. We'll see if they can keep it going for your first round here in the Big Dance. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? We're already underway here in Austin, Texas. They have been an amazing host, but it's been all Utah to start this first game. 15-4, what a hot start. And it's mainly because the threes have been absolutely insane for them. They are shooting 50% from the field at this point. They have 5 different players on the board. Chelsea, I know I wanted to go to you too because you had something that was on your heart. Just for current news and what's going on in Florida.
Yeah, the things and rulings that people are trying to implement is a human issue. I feel sadness and scared and just disappointment that the world doesn't value equality and respect. People are not only okay with such legislation, but are also teaching our youth and children of this world that it's okay to squash a person's basic human rights. And in light of the proposed Don't Say Gay bill and legislation, I will take some time to be silent during this broadcast in solidarity with others that understand and believe inclusivity and equality and respect are basic human rights that everyone should have.
Thank you, Chelsea. And as an ally, honestly, Chelsea, and in solidarity with you, my colleague, with colleagues here with ESPN, as well as my friends and family that may be dealing with this as well, I just want to say I respect where you're coming from. And for the next two plays, I'll join with you in a moment of silence. So I will jump back into the broadcast. And Chelsea, once again, I respect you, your viewpoints here. And I know it's so much bigger than basketball, you being an ambassador as well from the WNBA. I know that one thing that we have learned about the women of the WNBA as well is that when something is wrong, you stand up, you use your voice for it. So until you choose to join the broadcast again, I just want to say thank you for sharing your words. It means the world to me. And I just want you to know that you have my complete support. And I hope our colleagues, as well as everyone out there with the LGBTQ plus community, know that we are with you in this. So offense has been a struggle so far for Arkansas, but that's a good bucket on the inside. That one's coming from Samara Spencer, SEC freshman the year, and just amazing what she's been able to do. Drive on the inside. Young will step up to the free throw line after a hard take. So let's look at your bracket. Sweet 16, Friday, March 25th, Saturday, March 26th, ESPN and ESPN2, the Elite Eight. You'll have that on Sunday, March 27th. You see the Bridgeport, Greensboro, and Wichita and Spokane regions as well. In the Final Four, everyone has their eyes on that for the Target Center in Minneapolis. That'll take place starting on April 4th on ESPN as well. So this has just been a lot of fun, just watching dreams come true for a lot of different teams. I know that we're going to be able to call later on tonight Fairfield as they're back into the dance. They're winning their MAC championship after beating Manhattan, and also understanding how big this moment is to them and everything they fought for to get to this point. So a lot of great stories that we've been able to see and hear in the first round and even in the first four. I think there's so many awesome moments. And so here comes Arkansas. Another three on the outside doesn't go, but Riley Langerman has been that spark so far for Arkansas. Already on the board, she cuts to the basket, trying to see if the lane opens up. She doesn't have anything there, so she's going to dish it back out to Ramirez. A sense of urgency for Ramirez. She can't connect from the rim. On the inside, Maxwell, who has been absolutely lights out to start this ball game. She dishes it on the inside finds Johnson. Johnson pump fake and gets the 2. 19-10 Utes. Jenna Johnson has been a tear for the Utes and for the Pac-12. She had all tourney honors, the first Ute to earn those honors as well. She had a career high 27 points against Oregon. Once again, Michaela Daniels can't get that one to go. She already has 6. They're trying to see if they can get some offense going. Right now, they've just been a little short. Jenna Johnson takes it all the way in from about 15 feet. She's able to draw the foul, and she'll step up to the free throw line for 2. A couple of substitutions for both teams. Neepkins checks back in, and then Goforth for Arkansas is back into the ball game. Nice take on the inside. That foul is going to go against Riley Langerman. So Jenna Johnson, who is a 75% free throw shooter, steps up to the free throw line, drains the first one, makes it a 10-point ball game. 1.5 difference in shot clock and game clock. She draws front iron on the second one, so we'll see if they can draw up for Arkansas. So Samira Spencer at the top of the key. She's guarded right now by Vieda. They find Daniels. Daniels asks for the screen. Daniels finds the lane on the left and gets it to go. A nice kiss off the glass. 2-point left. They avoid a foul at half court, and he will not go. So Utah taking care of business here in the first quarter. It's been a fun one so far here at Frank Irwin Center. We've seen a lot of this in the first quarter for Utah. In control of this, and Juanita Daniels in the stands right now, being able to see that dream come into fruition, being on this stage. I know you had dreams as well of what this moment would be like and just aspiring to be in this position. So I know this is huge for Michaela.
I'm sure this is huge for her and her family. Like, they probably talked about this at the dinner table. I know I did, and I think it just goes back to that model. If I can see her, I can be her. And I think for her going to those games, she saw a vision for herself.
And the vision right now isn't so good for Arkansas because Utah is draining threes at this point. McQueen for another 3. They have the 11-point lead. Teardrop on the inside for Amber Ramirez. You want to see her get going. She is, their leading scorer has done so much within even the SEC.
Yeah, I'm sure she likes to see that one go down. She's now 1 for 7. And I know that sometimes as a scorer, all you need is one, a nice one to go through.
So Sasha Goforth a little slow to get on her feet. She took a hard fall trying to contest a shot here on Neepkins. And that's the issue there. It's just that the fall and impact at the head, but she's up, tough as nails, back on her feet. Good to see her still going. Goes for the block there, but there's nothing you can do with Jenna Johnson. She's having a phenomenal start. We saw so many different players to start the game in the first quarter. 5 different players on the scoreboard, and they just continue to share the wealth. Samira Spencer with another bucket. Just speaking with Mike Neighbors, it was very impressive the amount of just praise that he gave his freshman. He said she was ready, probably better than any freshman that I've ever had, just understanding what she needed to do to be prepared for this moment.
You love to see that out of a freshman and being able to say one thing one time and then get it done. It's always a learning curve in any process and being somewhere new, but she's been able to take it full advantage.
Kennedy McQueen just darts through the lane to clean up on that offensive board. She didn't get the shot to fall, but she will step up to the free throw line, and she was fouled.
And one thing to really take a note here, Angel, that Arkansas does not have any assists right now. They're trying to get in the lane, trying to find their spots. And meanwhile, on the other side of that, Utah has 6 assists. And that's been very important for Utah, they're 8-0 when they have 20 or more assists in a game. And so I think they're trying to make that track to maybe have 10 in this first half.
And it's been a tale of two halves, just for not as far as stats when you're looking at sharing the wealth, because to start the ball game, the Utes had 5 made buckets but had 5 assists to add to it. We've seen a lot of contact on the inside, and they're actually going to slow down and stop play here. A really hard fall underneath. As Wolfenbarger just took a really tough fall right here.
Another one just trying to play hard, trying to contest, and she just lost her footing in the air and came down pretty hard. So hoping that she's okay. They're taking a look at her. Maybe some whiplash or hitting her head down there.
I tell you what, Chelsea, I know she's slow to get up, but always in any scenario, you just appreciate the fact that she can get up and walk away on her own will. And we'll see if she returns to the ball game. But as far as Arkansas, looking at how they got to this point, 79 in the SEC, 18-13, but they had 2 big games to really solidify their footing into the big dance. The win over Missouri and Mississippi State. We've already talked about how Amber Ramirez has been so good for them throughout the season, but especially in SEC play, where she was averaging 18 points.
And she's a focal point for their offense, and she's been their leader, but we know she can score the basketball.
Daniels can't connect on the outside. Daniels still the leading scorer for Arkansas. She's at 8. The only other starters that have scored for Arkansas are Langerman and Ramirez. They're sitting at 2. Utah moving the ball still very well. How about that? McQueen for another 3. She is right now 3 for 4 from distance. Daniels looking for a little bit of help. Finds Langerman. Another dish out, another rebound for Utah. And Utah can continue to build. This is the biggest lead for Utah.
They're doing an excellent job just penetrating, kicking, but no penetration there. Transition defense. They had to get back, and I know Coach Neighbors were talking about that, so let's see what they have to talk about and if they can make some adjustments coming out of this break.
For Utah, I don't think you can ask for a hotter start. They're 7-0 as far as their run right now, and they are shooting 50% beyond the arc, as well as from the field, Chelsea.
Yes, Kennedy McQueen has been on a tear. She's gotten her 3-point shots either from transition or penetrate and kick. And I know Arkansas is concerned about the transition threes. That's a big part of Utah's game. So that's got to be a focal point for them if they want to get back in this ball game. But Kennedy McQueen, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, allowing Utah to gain this lead early in this first half.
McQueen, she averages 9 points. She's already surpassed that with her 11 points here in the first half. So you can just see how important these games are, and you just have to shine the brightest in these moments. She's been outstanding, but we already talked about Utah, the highest scoring team in the Pac-12. And as far as points, 18th in the NCAA.
Yeah, and they average 9.4 3-point field goals, made field goals per game, and they're already at 5.
Where turnover for Utah was very interesting. We were able to talk to Drew Gilton after their practice, and she said, you know what, it's very interesting. We can actually breathe here. They play at the higher altitude in Utah, and she said, we feel great running up and down the court, so that's something that we are definitely seeing here in the first half.
I know when I played at BYU, I was at practice at shoot-around, and I just did a couple of up and backs, and I was like, woo, I need a water break.
Well, Deanna Neepkins surveying the land a bit, didn't see anything there that she liked, so she's going to continue to run the offense. Bit of a weave offense, a travel call. So that's back-to-back turnovers for Utah. And one important thing, especially if you're Lynn Roberts looking at your team and how they've been so hot to start, not taking their foot off the gas.
Yeah, Arkansas just has to convert on those turnovers. They're clogging the lane a little bit more, playing off of each other defensively. So whatever they're choosing to do offensively has to kind of match that to be able to string together some stops and scores.
A couple of scores that Arkansas needs. Daniels, a wild shot to the rim. Ramirez dials it up. That one looked like it was good. Short on the rim. Jump ball, and it will stay with Arkansas. So they'll get it underneath with 20 on the shot clock, excuse me. So Arkansas has not scored in the last 3 minutes of play. Barnum takes it to the bucket, can't connect. The Razorbacks are 0 of their last 8 shots. And it's been a different story for Utah. Deja Young joins in on the three-point party. And on the other end, defensively, draws the foul.
Yeah, once again in transition, able to hit the trailer. Deja Young just ready to tee up. There's nobody in sight to be able to close out to her.
How about the offense, though? We already mentioned it, just leading the Pac-12 in points as well, but you already mentioned, too, just the three ball and how important it is to their arsenal and how they get things done in their offense. They were even practicing it yesterday, and we saw so many different shots getting put up for them, and they said, this is what is our bread and butter. How do we continue to build on that? They were laser focused on making sure that they can get it done today.
Yeah, I think that's all part of their game. They're just being able to have a feel for it, having confidence in their game plan and what they're able to do. And once again, Deja Young gets it off, but no good on the three-point attempt there. And as Daniels comes down and surveys the area and trying to make something happen.
Forcing the issue on the baseline. I believe she stepped out, so that's going to go to Utah. There's a timeout on the floor, and the substitution comes in, so Samara Spencer will check back in on the other side of the break. They'll take a break, so we'll step aside as well. Right now, Utah, it's their show. We're just watching it. Have the 35-17 lead. Welcome back to Austin. Well, we just had to make sure that we feature this adorable crowd that we have in the building. She has on a Bucky shirt. I know my dad will really appreciate that. But going to the game summary, it's been a tough night so far for Arkansas. Beyond the arc, 0 for 9. Utah, completely different scenario.
Yeah, I think it's been difficult for Arkansas to get anything in transition because of Utah's efficiency from the three-point line. They're getting whatever they want, especially in transition. So every time Arkansas is having to take out the basketball and set something up.
Well, to start the second quarter, I mean, they were 2 for 2 from the field. They missed their last 8 field goals, and then Utah went on a 10-1 run. So that's going to be interesting as they continue to build on it. 20-point lead for Utah. Halfway through this second quarter, Ramirez, they need a lot more of that.
I'm sure she's like, I need to see another one go down. She's currently 2 for 9 from the field with 4 points in 16 minutes. So I'm hoping that she's able to get some buckets down.
She needs one of those 20-point games to be in this one. She has 16 on the season, known as their facilitator, but to get going offensively, they need her all-around game. 7 on the shot clock for Utah. Couple back doors, nothing found. 2, there's gonna have to be a shot off. Reese, does she get it off? No, the officials wave it off. Shot clock violation.
That's an energy play. That could maybe turn it around for Arkansas. You always want those energy plays, charges, shot clock violation, and 1. So hopefully this spruces up their offense a little bit.
And then 7 turnovers now for Utah. But the stat that sticks out the most for Utah is 54% they're shooting from the field. Ramirez with back-to-back buckets. Maybe that's the spark that you were talking about, Chelsea.
Yeah, they came back and ran the same play. She got a wide-open jumper near the free throw line. A simple pick-and-roll option right there at the free throw line. So it's a tough matchup of if the post player wants to help or if she just lets her shoot the jumper. And 2 of those times she's allowed that jumper to take place. Has a nice pick-and-roll. That's textbook right there, Angel.
Very Chelsea Gray-esque. Reese with the finish on the right side. They were working on reads as well, and the post player making a nice read to the bucket. On the inside, Wolfenbarger. Nothing there. Ramirez can't connect for her third consecutive bucket. And another turnover. So a little bit of pressure and a mishandle by Palmer. And Ramirez with the circus shot gets that one to go. Ramirez right now with 8 points. And the response, so she turns it over, and then Isabel Palmer responds with the three.
Yeah, Ramirez was hustling back to get back in the possession. She got there, took a little bit of a break, hand down, man down, Angel.
Spencer can't get that mid-range to fall, and we're seeing that pace we were talking about at the top of the show. The Ada dishing it off. Maxwell, who's been quiet since the first quarter, a little short on the shot. And another foul on the play. About 2 minutes left in this first half. Coming up at halftime, a degree in the studio. Elle Duncan, Rebecca Lobo, and Nikki Fargas. They will be in the studio as we will toss it to them to break down everything that has been going on for halftime stories. So Utah slowing it down a bit. They were getting early shots earlier in the game in the shot clock. There's a foul on the play that's going to be on the floor. So Riley Lingerman actually picks up the foul there. That's her second personal foul. Team's third. Young corrals it in.
And great hustle by Spencer, trying to get her team riled up and fired up to try to make a comeback here to end the second quarter. Great hustle and fight. I know Coach Neighbors loves to see that. A little over a minute and a half left in this first half.
So 90 seconds left, and you can see right now how Utah is just trying to see how they can execute at a high level. They've done so far in this first half, but it's been the late in the shot clock shots as this one. Not a good possession in that for Utah.
Yeah, that was great defense by the Razorbacks once again, turning up their defensive pressure and forcing Utah to take a pretty tough shot a look at the rim.
Approaching the 1 minute mark, Spencer with the ball at the top of the key. Spencer has been a little quiet, 4 points for her. She averages double figures for this team. Takes it to the rim, can't get that one to fall, and it's been the Bunnies for Arkansas at this point. Really struggling, shooting 31% from the floor. And as we mentioned, 0 for 10 from distance.
Yeah, they've had 3 or 4 layups right there at the rim that they just couldn't put down. It's good hustle by Riley Langerman as it forces a turnover as Samara Spencer goes to the lane, kick out. Oh, no good for Riley Langerman on that play. Good hustle by Michaela Daniels, and you see the fight with Arkansas just trying to get some of those buckets to go inside the rim.
So it's the hustle plays, correct? Just understanding what they need to do with 30 seconds left in this half and wanting that energy and momentum going into the second half. So understanding what Arkansas wants to do in these possessions. Have a lot of time on the shot clock. Instead, Ramirez tries to get something at the rim. The putback no good. And out of the pack, just ripped away. Couldn't finish underneath. Finally gets it to go, Aaron Barnum.
That's the hustle and the fight you love to see. This is win or go home. And it's a good bucket. bucket right there to end the half. We have Utah in control of this ball game, 44-27 at the half.
Well, our degree in studio is coming up. They'll talk about the tournament update, first half highlights, and then we'll have the upset that we saw earlier with Florida Gulf Coast taking care of business over Virginia Tech. So
It's available to play, Angel.
Coming into this ball game, shooting 42% from distance. As we mentioned, she's already knocked down 3 triples, so 9 of her 11 have come from beyond the arc. In an early start, a nice look for Daniels to start off the second half.
And she's picking up where she's left off, attacking the rim, getting inside the paint, and getting some scores done as Ramirez gets the steal and going in transition.
Behind the back, Spencer gets the look on the inside and gets the bucket. Back-to-back buckets to start for Arkansas.
I know they're feeling it's a sense of urgency. They know what this game means in this tournament, and they're fighting not to go home starting off this second half.
If they can cut this to single digits early in this third quarter, that would be impressive. And how about the turnover for Utah?
Man, slicing and dicing as she goes to the rack and being able to get that maybe an and one there, Angel. I don't know, maybe they didn't see the contact right there.
Play through the play. You got to play through it, Chelsea. You know these things. So Samara Spencer can't get that one to go. We already mentioned she's the SEC Freshman of the Year, averaging double figures, 3rd highest scorer on the team. An early look on the inside. That's denied on the inside by Barnum. So we mentioned momentum and what it means for Arkansas to finish the second quarter. They didn't have the start that they wanted, but how does Ramirez respond? I'll tell you how, with a bucket of her own.
That's a nice pocket. The post player was back, able to get into a pull-up jumper. Her score is to end the first half, or the nice pull-up jumper. So picking up where she left off as Utah goes to the bucket, and there's a foul as she goes to the line for 2.
So let's talk about Amber Ramirez, though. She was held scoreless in the first quarter. She had 10 points in the second quarter, 5 for 8. And we talked about how she needed to be the answer for Arkansas if they wanted to get themselves back into this ball game. So far, we're seeing a spark from her.
Yeah, she's led the break after creating a turnover and in the passing lane, deflecting a pass and being able to go in transition. And as the putback is good there, but Ramirez has done a good job of coming out the second half. She shoots the long ball, no good, but
Gianna Neekins on the other side. Well, we talked about coming into this ball game. Mike Neighbors said it's the 1st to 85. 3-pointers are a big part of this. On the season, Chelsea, Utah shooting 36, Arkansas 32. We talked about what they're doing today is night and day. 0-13 for Arkansas to start.
That's a big part of their game, so I'm sure that's something they would like to get back in this second half of knocking down those 3-point shots.
Hilton dishes it off. McQueen bounces around a little bit. Can the putback be there? There's a foul on the play. Not a lot of happy fans in the building with that one, but Reese will step up to the free throw line. So Barnum picks up her first personal foul as Kelsey Reese, as you mentioned, 72% free throw shooter down the line. This is just a very good free throw shooting team. We have 75, 80s, 100 for Andrea Torres. So it's just very interesting, even though she's out for the rest of the season, how that is an emphasis for this roster.
And one thing to note is Kelsey Reese, she's nearing a double-double already with 9 rebounds and 7 points. So keep an eye on that.
A tie-up, and it's actually going to be a foul called. This one's going to go against Gianna Neekins. That's her first personal foul. So they get the ball underneath with a reset of the shot clock at 20. Seeing a little bit more of a bounce from Arkansas to start, especially from Spencer.
That's twice she's been able to get in the lane and have a nice, easy score, either at the front of the rim or getting to the other side of the bucket.
Spencer has 8 points, 4 for 9 from the field. Neepkins at the top of the key for Utah. She's going at Ramirez. Outside shot, that one bounces around a little bit, brought down, a lot of contact. Still a way to get it out. Spencer seeing her options. Spencer to the corner. Daniels from outside. Still short, still over for Arkansas from distance. As Spencer had a bit of the mismatch at the top of the key. Going at Reese, dishes it off. Finds Goforth, and finally, they get a 3 to go.
That's the spark that we need. The energy is getting a little bit higher in this arena right now as they try to close the gap, and they're within 10, Angel.
10-point ball game, Chelsea. Just takes 1-3 to get this thing started, and an inside touch on the inside to Johnson. She's always been an answer. You always want to find her big in these situations. So she'll step up to the free throw line again, as at the score table, Riley Langerman checks back in the ball game. She's coming in for Sasha Goforth. So Michaela Daniels, something we want to keep our eye out on. She now has 3 personal fouls. She's been the heartbeat of this squad. She had the first 4 points for Arkansas as they struggled in the first quarter. So we'll see if she remains in the ball game. Johnson cashes in on both. Deja Young checks in for Jenna Johnson. She'll take a break. So Jenna Johnson has been pretty impressive. 8 points. Very interesting, she doesn't have a rebound on the game yet. Her presence has definitely been felt in this ball game. Ramirez felt like she had a little contact at the top of the key. Left alone Barnum on the 15-foot line. And a good read for Reese. Utah started this ball game on a 10-0 run.
It's a good fight you love to see from them. Now only down 12 as Riley Langerman gets the steal. Nice block, and see if they can convert on the other end, and they do as Daniels gets the score, and they're within a 10 again. I'm curious if they're going to pass this hump to get into within single digits of this ball game, but a different fight for the Razorbacks in this second half.
What's been so different, Chelsea?
I think they picked up their defensive energy, getting to the passing lanes, playing the way they played up until this point as Neepkins gets the score, but they've just played their game and not second-guessing themselves at all.
Gianna Neepkins has been unbelievable in this ball game. A nice take on the inside for 2. On the other end, Barnum, distant shot, no good. A lot of contact underneath the basket. A foul is going to be called, and we're going to see if this goes against Daniels. And it's actually going to indeed go against Michaela Daniels, who just picked up her 4th foul. All right, so you have your Sweet 16. This is the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One, and Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 25th through the 28th. The Final Four, Friday, April 1st. I know you'll be there. You'll be taking in all the action. The championship Sunday, April 3rd. All games on the ESPN app. All eyes are set for Minneapolis and what they can do there. You've had some memories in Minneapolis as well.
I've had a few game winners in a few moments in winning a championship. I know a couple things about Minneapolis. So if you need something, let me know. And I was able to hold up that trophy in Minneapolis.
I saw it. I witnessed it for myself.
That was a great moment.
Title with the Sparks over the Lynx was one of the best rivalries we had in WNBA as of late. So that was a lot of fun to witness that. So a break here. A little under 5 minutes left in this third quarter. Arkansas said, we're coming for you. You can see it. Riley Langerman has been that boost. And Daniels with the bucket. Well, Utah had the hot start. They scored 20 points in the first 2 quarters. But Arkansas, here they come. They're outscoring Utah right now, 13-9 in the third.
Yeah, they've been really wreaking havoc on the defensive end, able to get out of transition and play with pace, getting into the paint, finishing layups, whether they're driving and kick. You see Daniels there, able to convert in transition. So that is what Coach Neighbors wants his squad to do, is be able to play with pace, be able to play fast, get up and down the court, and play how they've been playing up until this point.
Utah's largest lead was 20. They were up 37-17. And as you mentioned, they've made it a ball game. Brought it within 10 a couple of times here in this quarter. And as you also said, see if they can get over the hump. We've seen a lot of energy from them on the defensive end. Utah has had some struggles getting good looks. 6 on the shot clock. And how about the outside look? We talked about what they need from the floor. Utah back in business, shooting 50%. Goforth dishes it on the inside. Barnum just can't connect. We welcome our viewers now on ESPNU as Ramirez drains the 3. We have a great win here as Arkansas is taking on Utah. Arkansas had a slow start, and Utah was shooting over 50% from outside as well as from the field, but Arkansas has been draining it in this third quarter. Right now, they're outscoring Utah 16-12 with about 3:30 left in this third quarter. An outside shot and a response.
She said, I see a 3 and I'll match you a 3 coming down. Deja Young, it was a hand in her face, but able to convert as Ramirez tries to go back-to-back 3s in their possession.
Couldn't get that to go, but how about Deja Young? She's hit a career high 5 3s. She had that at Colorado. She had 18 points in that ball game. So we know that each person on this roster can definitely let it fly. We'll see if Arkansas can get going from distance. They already knocked one down in the third quarter. Drew Gilton dishes it off to Maxwell. She can't get that one to go. It's been the old boards for Utah. They haven't been able to convert a lot of contact, but they're actually going to call this a jump ball. It's going to stay with Utah.
They've been very active on the glass, whether they get the rebound or not. They've been able to do that. They're sitting on 8 offensive rebounds, but I believe at least half of those has come in this third quarter. McQueen thought she got a 3 off it. It's actually an offensive foul. So Jenna Johnson picks up her first personal foul. The only player dealing with foul trouble at this point in the ball game is Michaela Daniels, who's on the bench for Arkansas with 4. A nice take by Spencer, the freshman for Arkansas. That's about the second or third possession where they run that action where Spencer gets a nice, easy lane to the basket, whether she finishes on the middle of the court or finishes on the other side of that. So great adjustment there offensively for the Razorbacks to be able to allow her to get downhill and get to her spots. Jenna Johnson was trying to work the tightrope on that baseline, trying to see if she can find some help. Instead, she has the turnover. That's the 16th turnover for Utah. Spencer again challenging at the rim, nothing there. And the rebound goes to Gilton. Maxwell didn't take her long to get it off, but she finds the bottom of the net once again. Maxwell has 8 points on the ball game. And Ramirez with the response. I tell you, that's something that you mentioned coming in to the second half. How does Ramirez get going? Yeah, she has to get shots on goal and nice, easy shots. Her shot selection has to be important. She was able to knock down a 3, able to get in the lane. She's hit some pull-up jumpers, so she's picking different spots on the floor to get good shots. As she's Deja Young was driving the lane, and just a little bit too much contact going up for that layup.
Deja Young averaging about 7 points. She had 5 and 9 in the last 2 games in the tournament. Transfer from University of Tennessee Martin. (63-47). Utah has been consistent throughout this entire ball game. We're still looking for the response for Arkansas. Goforth mishandles it, but makes some magic work on the up and under.
Made something out of nothing with that one, Angel.
Nice English. Off the glass. Young gets the ball, decides to take it in. A lot of movement that we're seeing from Utah. Palmer is now on the board. Palmer with 9 points, 4 for 5 from the field. She's been unbelievable. We talked about how spread out it was offensively for this group. As Vieta dishes it off to Palmer in the corner. Less than a minute left in this third quarter. Vieta for 3.
Now they're getting back to what got them this lead, able to get inside, penetrate the lane, draw and kick, and knock down some easy shots.
How about this, Chelsea? Shooting 52% from the three-point line, 53 from the field. Short on the shot. Offensive board, finds Spencer. Spencer gets the 3 ball.
That's the danger of offensive rebounds. You have to find shooters after that, and kicking it out for threes. Those are those moments where you have to be super engaged and make sure to clean up the rebounds.
That's 3 threes so far for the Razorbacks from 3 different players. 7 on the shot clock. Maxwell with the ball. She's going at Ellis. Finds some help, tries to dish it off. I don't know if they'll get a shot off, and they won't. Ramirez with the half-court heave. But that'll be it. 25-24. This one goes to Arkansas, but Utah is in control of this one, 68-52, and it's because of the 3 ball from the Utes. But Ramirez has other things in mind, trying to will her team to a win.
Shot off of a kick out from an old board, so really getting a little bit of a touch with the basketball and seeing some plays go down.
And this is the most threes made for Utah in the tournament record books. We were already talking about Louisville, but we're going to go back to this foul here.
As Michaela Daniels enters the game, and she picks up where she left off in an and-one play, driving the lane hard. Good play by her. Hopefully she could stay out of foul trouble going down on that defensive end. But she's sitting here at 15 points, 6 for 12 from the field.
They do get the O board. Ramirez finds Daniels. Goforth, nothing there. The Bunnies for Arkansas continue to haunt them.
What a great seal. I love that by Jenna Johnson. Great pass by Deja Young. Just super patient, able to seal for an easy layup.
Her in the tournament, you want to know her numbers? 18, 19, 13, and 2. So Jenna Johnson is an answer.
Yes, just nice patience. Didn't have the rotation of the pass, but you saw Johnson sealing for an easy basket, on time and on target pass by Deja Young.
Right now there are 3 players in double figures for Utah, but on the flip side too, there are 3 players for Arkansas that are in double figures as well. Ramirez, Daniels, and Spencer. Spencer at the free throw line. We already talked about her burst here in the second half and how Coach Neighbors has spoken so highly of her ball game and how she came in ready to play. The freshman 5'9" out of Fort Lauderdale. As we have some substitutions, Drew Gilton comes into the ball game. Ines Vieta will take a seat. trap at the top of the key, and you're seeing a different look from Arkansas defensively.
Yeah, just trying to create some turnovers, create some havoc, so maybe they can run in transition and get some easy scores in a quick way. And they're only down 14, Angel. This ball game is not over, and we know Arkansas can put up some numbers in a hurry.
Arkansas is averaging 76 points, 73 points per game. You said you were looking for 85. It's the three ball that they've been wanting, but Jenna Johnson, they have to find an answer for her, and quick, because she has been dominant throughout this entire ball game.
And she's been on the offensive glass a lot as Spencer takes it to the hole again. Once again, easy in transition, able to get inside the paint. Couldn't finish that one, but going back to the line and trying to get some points on the board while the clock is stopped.
So Spencer back at the free throw line. He's 2 for 2 before this appearance, and now knocks down the third. Can't connect for the second. So we've seen a dominant ball game for Utah, 72-57. They have the lead here with less than 10 minutes to play.
And
Spencer's been everywhere.
Great defensive possession there. She knew she was undersized, but beat her to the spot and able to get another offensive possession. And Utah has had control of this game, but they're sitting on 18 turnovers. And I know that's not something that Lynn Roberts really wanted to see from her squad.
But what Mike Neighbors does love is that he's had 13 points off of their 18 turnovers. Ramirez draws the foul here, gets the bump. She'll step up to the free throw line. Well, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship first round continues tonight on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. Visit ncaa.com for more information. Here's a fun fact. Connecticut, the only Division I school to win both titles in same year. They did it twice, 2004 and 2014. Well, I feel like we should have,
yeah, 2014 was a little salty. That was my senior season, Angel. You just really had to bring that up there.
I apologize. You know, I'm just here. One band, one sound, Chelsea. Ramirez connects on the second. Take to the basket, no good. Neepkins has 10 points. Let's see if she can respond. Ramirez with the outside shot. We saw her practicing that shot in shoot-around, so I know that she's frustrated. She can definitely hit it from deep, but right now Ramirez is just 1 for 11 from the three-point line. And so we mentioned how Arkansas is getting back in this one, but led by Mike Neighbors. He knows a thing or two about Utah because he spent 4 seasons with Washington in the Pac-12 as well, but he has a bit of a creative side as well. We mentioned his drip and his shoes, but there's so many different things that he collects as well. How about this, a cassette collection that he has? Yeah, it went down the line. He collects almost everything, just a retro type of thing for him, the guitars. And then how about the lunch bells? I know our producer was saying, I think he had a Peanuts one in the back. She said that she might have one as well, but the different things that he's into. And oh yeah, he worked at Blockbuster as well. So I think that's a very interesting thing because I still have my Blockbuster card.
Definitely used to
That's
go to
my retro collection.
A lot, but that's so cool. It's such an interesting fun fact that we're able to share, and I know that's probably his happy moments when he's able to get those different things and add to his collection. I'm super cool.
So cool that it becomes the Hoop Scoop. How about that? Used to work at Blockbuster. Talked about all the different things he's done. As soon as we brought up anything on that creative side. He was like, oh, but wait till you see my collection of shoes. Talked about the OG ones, and I was like, Coach, you lost me here. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those shoe collectors. I'm not a sneakerhead. Maybe that's more your lane, but he did bring over a few members of his family. His daughter, 6 months old, had customized Air Force Ones.
I mean, that baby has so much drip that she don't even know what to do with it yet.
A take on the inside. Utah just continues to build on this lead. Now 74-61, up 13. Daniels gets the bump, doesn't get the bucket, but she'll step up to the line for 2.
They've been able to get to the free throw line in this fourth quarter as Daniels was penetrating the lane, creating some contact that went up for the finish, and able to convert some fouls, and Utah fouling them at the rim. But they're going to need to string together some stops in this last 6 minutes and 12 seconds if they want a chance to win this ball game.
So Michaela Daniels has struggled with foul trouble throughout this ball game, but she continues to be one of those players that's going to be a force at the rim, as you can see. Arkansas 9 for 15 from the free throw line. Utah has only missed 7. It's 11 and 18. A double team on the block, moving around the rim once again. And you just got to pick your poison. And at this point, you really don't know what it is because they've been so balanced on the inside and out.
Yeah, once you double team them at any point, you have to have your rotations on point because they're going to make you pay, whether that's a three-point shot or a mismatch in the offensive rebounding battle.
Daniels, that one rims out. Gilton found a lane, took it, and draws the foul.
She was coming down in transition, so you shouldn't see anybody stop her at the rim, and it was a little bit too late. They definitely have to force a wall in transition to be able to stop any penetration going into the lane.
5'11" senior out of Rapid City, South Dakota, excuse me. So the thing is, we're seeing a very aggressive Drew Gilton at the line. She averages close to 5 points. She's sitting at that at this point. Knocks down the second, but she's known more for her offense, her assists. She led the Pac-12 in assists. She's 38th in the nation as well, and 5th player in program with 500 assists and counting.
Yeah, and she's sitting right now at 7, so we know that's a vital part of Utah's offense.
So Riley Langerman picks up a foul. That's her 4th personal foul. And it's been a struggle for her. She's tried to do everything for this team as far as creating a spark, but more than anything, I think it's just so important about what she does off the court and just the inspiration that she is as well to the youth. Alopecia advocate as well, and we'll get more into that story a little later. Kennedy McQueen doing queen things.
I like those play on words right there, Angel.
Spencer dancing with the rock a little bit, turns the ball over. Actually, it is a turnover. And Neepkins stood in the gap and forced a turnover, and Utah has been impressive.
They're kicking out for threes, getting in the lane, making jumpers, just playing with each other, and they're in full control of this game, up 20 at the break.
62-62, but it's been the youth movement for Utah between Neepkins and Johnson, who have been stellar coming into this ball game.
And you see they're both averaging around 12 points per game. Today you have Neepkins sitting at 13 and Johnson at 12, doing what they did in the Pac-12. And they're being able to do this at this stage in the NCAA tournament in this first game. And when the lights are on, they're able to perform.
Stoppage of play. I'll take it out on the side with 7 left on the shot clock. As you mentioned, Jonna Neepkins. It's been a conference and clash of freshman of the year as Spencer on the other side for the SEC is their freshman of the year. 3 on the shot clock. And they finally get the ball on the rim for Reese.
And that's just a good possession by Drew Gilton, able to get into the lane and drop it off nicely. She's sitting at 8 assists right there.
Daniel stutter steps into a shot, bounces around a bit, doesn't fall. And you can start to see how Utah is slowing down the pace, a lot different than what we saw in the first 3 quarters.
Well, time and score, Angel. I mean, they have control of this game, and they don't want things to go a different way, and they won't have to worry about that because Neepkins is here to stay, able to hit that 3. Another nice pass by Gilton. 9 assists. She's going for that 10th assist, Angel.
Utah has 14 threes. That's the most in tournament history in their program. Previous was against Louisville. They had 10. That was back in 1998. How about the history they continue to make?
Oh, another dime! Pick that up off the floor. Don't leave any change left. Drew Gilton, I'm here for a nice dime right there. Total control of this ball game.
You almost hope that she walks away with a double-double. She has 10 assists now. Ellis, back iron.
Good things are happening when Drew Gilton crosses that half court, Angel.
She's in range for just about anything. Can make things happen. The facilitator of the group already has 10 assists.
Going for 11, and she does! That's what I'm talking about. Good reads off of the pick and roll. And Kennedy, when you have Kennedy McQueen, I'm pretty sure you would want to pass to her as well.
Spencer with the response, but I tell you what, we have a couple of substitutions at the table. 2:18 left. Chelsea, I know you love what you're seeing from Gilton.
I'm loving that, and that's the way it's been done for Utah to be able to have this lead.
Two about dimes, so I'll let you break down this.
Man, Drew Gilton has helped this Utah offense. 11 assists, been great today, able to set her teammates up for easy scores, put it on a platter for them to be able to execute and knock down shots, rolling to the basket. She has more assists than the entire Arkansas team. And if I have a person that can pass the rock like that, I want her on my team.
And that's her Capital One rewarding performance from Drew Gilton, who has 11 assists. Her career high is 13. I was hoping that she could walk away with a double-double as well, but what a performance she put on here in the first round in Austin, approaching that 2-minute mark.
Coach is like, no, let me put you on the side. Let me rest you up for this next game that we had. You had a great performance. We need another one.
We have Texas, the number 2 seed that's hosting Fairfield, who won the MAC championship. And that's going to be a great one. So Frager leading the charge there, and he told us he hopes his team can just manage the moment and get the butterflies and the jitters out quick, because he knows what it takes to win. He did it on the D2 side. 14 on the shot clock. Goforth short on the shot, and that's been somewhat the scenario for Arkansas from the field.
Yeah, they've had a hard time getting some easy baskets at the rim. They missed a couple of layups, some threes that they normally make, and so it was easier for Utah to really execute in transition and get easy scores.
I was saved from going out of bounds, and we're close to putting a bow on this one. Utah. Vieta can't connect. Talk about the Pac-12 and how impressive they've been. They have 16th in the tournament. They lost to Stanford in the Pac-12 championship. And as you mentioned before, Lynn Roberts said, we have been tested every step of the way. It felt like we were in the NCAA tournament, the whole Pac-12 tournament. And you're seeing how they came in laser focused in this ball game, 92-64.
As Ramirez has 22 points on the night. Trying her best for Arkansas.
So this one, 20.9 from coming to a close. You already see a couple of substitutions for Utah or for Arkansas as well. They're going to be a tough team. They have a couple of transfers that came in. They have 7 freshmen. They are ranked number 2 in the nation as far as freshman starts and freshman minutes. So the amount of trust that he had in this squad coming into this one, we mentioned how they got to this point. They won 2 big games against Missouri and Mississippi State, but we'll see them next year. And right now, the story is Utah, who went 52% from the field, knocked down 15 threes, and created some history as well from the three-point line. So we're going to go to the bracket as Utah